Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 130. In today's episode, we are going to talk about why the Kundalini can be very brutal, and how on earth your twin flame or the person you just met has activated this inside of you, and you have done the same for them. In today's episode, we are going to go through of many aspects of what happened to you, what are the physical symptoms of your Kundalini awakening, what if that also happened to your twin flame, can you stop that process, can you change or shift, and also what are the things that will help you. On this episode, you will see the things that are going to happen in your body if your Kundalini, the life force energy, is activated. And it is a little bit hard to explain, but let's begin like this. Have you ever met someone, and we can call that your twin flame, and you felt like you just got hit by a lightning, like something surged through your body, and it wasn't like a love at the first sight, like in that sense of, and even though when we use the words, because it's very difficult to explain the words, we would say it was like I fell in love within a moment, but in deep down you felt something more deeper. It was like something ancient, something woke up inside of you that you had nothing, something very raw, something very sacred, and something so intense that you didn't know how to even handle it. You could not understand what just happened to me. I met this person. It was like I got struck by a lightning. I could not no longer see anything else, feel anything else. It was like I was somewhere else. And that time when this happened to me, I did not know that there was something to do with the Kundalini, and that's why I talk about it today. It took me about 18 months by the time I started to understand that this was just not love. It was the awakening, the dormant Kundalini energy inside of me through that person. I'm not going to say that there is no love, because I call Kundalini love, life force energy. It's the fountain of youth. Kundalini sets you on your path. It's not something that we choose or where we are in our ego. It sets you on your path. And so now today I take you also through, those of you who watched my Instagram stories where you were able to see what happened to me. And I'm going to take this moment also, what happened in the days, weeks and months that followed after the Kundalini was activated. And that might have happened to you as well. Because if you're going through this, I just want to say you are not crazy. You are not broken. You are awakening to your ultimate truth, to your alignment. And what is the one of the most common thing what we say when we meet our twin flame? What is the one of the most common thing? I felt like I have arrived home. And for me, and it can happen, I'm going to say for everyone it is very different. It's not always back and right. And I explain about it that as well, because Kundalini is a very intelligent energy. And it does not just happen like that. It's not something, Kundalini doesn't ask from your mind. It doesn't ask if your mind is ready, but when your soul is ready. That's also one of the reasons, even though I'm a Kundalini facilitator today, where I work a lot with this energy, because I've seen how powerful, how magical, how life-giving is this energy, even though I'm going to say when it was first awakening, it did not feel like anything like this. So I can totally understand when you have just stepped into the separation of your twin flame, or you have just met your twin flame, and you're feeling these sensations in your body, that your heart is starting to race, your body gets hot, there is such a magnetic pull, like the universe is holding you up. There is so much happening. But the magnetic pull, what you have towards your twin is just not an attraction. That's why some of the earlier episodes I have explained that sometimes your twin might not be your type at all. They might not be what you are looking for. It can happen like this, that you literally walk on the street. You can look at, normally there should be a slight physical touch, whether it's touching hands, whether it's kissing, of course, through a sexual act. It's one of the most powerful ways. And this is also one of the reasons why many times twin flames actually do not have intimacy together, because you're already activated way before all of, let's say, the physical act, what we believe is somehow love or the connection. Your body already is activated with this. But like I said, it's just not an attraction, it's a soul recognition. And in that moment, when the energies touch each other, when this energetic lightning happens, something cracks open inside of you. And the same way happens to your twin. But I will talk about this in a minute. And when I met my twin flame, I had no idea. I had, yes, my soul realignment done before that. I was meditating for years already. I was doing yoga, I was doing sports. Back then it was like I was there, but I was not there, but I was ready. And on that time, I did not realize, and I didn't realize this in the separation, and I did not realize this after the separation, that this agreement of activating me and activating my twin with this life force energy, that's something our souls already agreed on. To meet, to awaken, and to trigger each other's evolution. And that's the basic of this twin flame journey. That was the number one thing. So now I'm just going to start from the day one, because I'm just going to explain, and it's not for everyone the same. I always want to say Kundalini is very intelligent. It knows what you're ready for, and it knows what you're not ready for. And it will not, in a sense of, harm you. But on a first meeting, and it might have happened to many of you, but it can happen also 40 years later, or 30 years later, or 15 years later. And I'll explain you why, because I had another day a very interesting person who explained me something on her journey. So when this energy went through me within hours, I remember that 1 hour, the 1 hour I was driving with a car, I felt so much electricity in my body that I felt that I'm sick, that something is wrong with me. It felt like I've been drinking, let's say, tons cups of coffee. I would not able to sleep anymore. All of a sudden, like that energy made me awake. Also, my body would get very, very hot, or it would shake for no reason. For something, it would just come. Very vivid dreams started to come. And even the visions, when my eyes were just open, I could see things, I could sense things. But I did not understand what was happening to me. I thought, oh my God, I have never felt so much love in my life. It was like a bliss, but at the same time, I knew I'm never the same person again after this. But I could not, back then, if someone would have told me twin flame, or your Kundalini just got activated, or if someone would have explained me that this is what happens when you get your awakening begins, I would have any idea. And first I thought something was wrong with me. I started also Googling, what is this thing? But actually what's really happening, and I'm going to say, if you are going through that turmoil, the obsessive thinking, the energy, your body is heating, cold, your heart is pounding, all of these kind of things, it's the rise of Kundalini. And this is the ancient primal life force that is at the bottom of your spine. And it's usually dormant. Most of the people, it's dormant until the soul is ready. And this is why here is just something, it's connected. And I would say that, and this is why twin flames are soul level fire starters. They activate this, and that's a phenomenon. You have to be actually very powerful in order to do that. And also your soul has to be ready. And like I said, you don't have to have any physical intimacy. Nothing. And I will also start telling you where the sexual energy starts to come in, where all of this sleepless nights, all of that comes in. And it comes from the Kundalini activation. That's why I say it's brutal. And the activation can start just from the energetic recognition. Just the energetic recognition. That's all. Because we have our energetic field. And because the frequency that is on this connection is so high, it starts to shake the body from losing it from its old pattern. And it opens up everything that was locked up. Everything. Every false belief. Every wound. Every trauma. Everything. And it's not fun. And so why is it so brutal? Why Kundalini is so brutal? Kundalini isn't gentle. It's not something like blissful rise for most of the people. And especially when it's triggered spontaneously. And I remember when I was a Kundalini facilitator training, I was asked, like, how do you know about Kundalini? Or how did that happen to you? Because I had not been to any Kundalini activations of my lifetime. And I looked at our trainer and I told him, it was triggered spontaneously. And his face was like, wow, that must have been brutal. And I said, yes, it was. I didn't know it's Kundalini. I didn't know anything about it. It really broke me apart. And he said, yeah. So when Kundalini is so-called triggered spontaneously, meaning of you don't have the idea, and that's what happens on twin flames. That is a very common thing, that your Kundalini gets activated. Not for everyone, and that also brings me a little bit to the question of, are they then twin flames? But I'm going to say that sometimes the opening up takes longer. And I'm going to say that opening up in that sense, the Kundalini is doing already the work. But it goes step by step. I had a girl another day who met, she was about 21, 22, her twin flame. And 10 years have gone by. Of course, the twin has never disappeared somewhere, pops up here and there. But when she first met her twin flame, she did not understand that this energy, or what she was feeling inside of her, was caused by him. She thought, oh, maybe the place where I am, I feel so much love and so much joy, or all these people who are here doing this and that, or I feel a little bit fear because of this and that. So she put it all of that into other people, except him. And that's also very common. So many of you are wondering if their divine masculine, so-called, is feeling this way. They can definitely, because you can feel the energy. But they might translate this into something else, and their understanding can come much later. And it's kind of like, how do I say? Like I said, Kundalini isn't gentle. And it's not something blissful, but you're going to feel a lot of love. You're going to feel something so divine that you have never ever felt before, despite the fact that it can be brutal. And it's kind of like, I would say, it's not like lighting a candle, and it's more like fireworks or volcano. And all of your traumas, shadows, suppressed emotions, everything you have buried inside of you starts to come rushing on the surface. And that's actually also what happens in a separation. All of this starts to come up. Because Kundalini is intelligent. And I've always said, I put here also one of the books to read, if any of you are interested to go dive deeper into. It's the Kundalini, let me tell you, It's the Kundalini and it's from the man's perspective, but for him it happened while he was practicing yoga and meditation. But the Kundalini, the evolutionary energy in man by Krishna copy, and that what happened to him. And I'm going to say that a lot of people who have experienced it, the Kundalini activation through twin flames or any other ways, you can activate it by yourself. You can be activated in the sessions, if you call Kundalini activation sessions, which also I'm, let's say, a facilitator, but I'm going to explain about the facilitating. It's very important because I don't want to, for me, this energy is sacred. I don't go around and sell that to everybody. I don't say, this is what you're going to get, and that's the magic, how you're going to go into your purpose, into your path, into your truth, into your love, into magnetism. And I had another day, I was channeling and sitting, and I said to myself, like the message what came, that something that is so powerful and sacred never needs advertisement. And I'm like, exactly. I am here to tell you that there is an options. There are ways. But I am not here to force anybody. I am not here to say, this is it. This is what you need to do. Because I trust this energy. I was at a dinner yesterday night, I believe. And a friend of mine, because everybody knows me from my career in the world, what I have done before. My friends, in a sense. They know I was ultra successful. They know everything about it. And they're asking if I do the same thing. And I said, of course I continue, but I'm also a lot in a spiritual path now, because I feel from my heart that I need to give back what happened to me in the service of being very, very humble of this energy, appreciating, and if my presence can help someone, and I'm not here to say that I am the helper, what I mean is, if something from my part brings them to oneness with this energy, I've done enough, and I'm not fighting against it. And so they were asking, so what do you do? What is this energy? And I said, it doesn't matter. Once you're ready, you will know. If not, let it be. Let it be here. I am not here to convince anybody. Why? Because I know the magic of this. I don't need to convince. So I'm going to say that when the Kundalini is awakening, it is intelligent. And it starts to rise to clear you, purge you, and align you. That's why we feel all of this. And when it's triggered through a twin flame meeting, it's actually even more intense. That's why I said when I was at the training, and the trainer saw when I said to him that, and I did not say anything about twin flames or anything, I had nothing to do with that. And I said it was triggered by another person. The face that this person, like my trainer had, was like, oh my God, that is brutal. Like you could see it from the face. And why is it brutal? Because twin flame isn't just the person you're meant to love. They're a mirror of your soul's light and darkness. So when they show up in your life, the Kundalini doesn't just awaken, it erupts. It's like a volcano. I'm going to show you who you are. So what starts to come, it's afterwards. So you have that beautiful time where you feel you are alive. You've never felt more love than you're feeling on this moment. You have never felt better in your body. You feel like you're glowing, blossoming, but you don't sleep. You start seeing that your sleep is very little. You have these beautiful messages. You express the love. There is so much happening. And then all of a sudden comes silence. And you're confused. Where did that person disappear? Where did that happen? And then, like the years of pain and grief starts to come without any words. And then you're starting to have dreams, very vivid dreams. Sometimes they can be even terrifying. You can have dreams about you dying, or you see your twin is telling you something. You can have dreams about snakes. You can see light beings. You can see anything. Like all of a sudden, so much starts to happen in your body that you feel like, what just happened to me? And that time, I remember myself. I did not know anything about Kundalini. So if you are listening to this right now, and this is what is happening to you, you are in the obsessive state. Your body is feeling, you have so-called voices in your head, and you can listen to my previous episodes where I talk about these things. It's like when people ask me, why did I move away? Because the voices and things started to come. They started to tell me what I have to do. It did not make any sense to me. And I had no idea that there is such a thing like a Kundalini life force energy. I had no idea. Would have that helped at the time if someone would have explained to me that this is the life force energy, the Kundalini? I don't know. It's difficult to say. So actually, if you are listening to this podcast and you are right now in between of that separation and that Kundalini is awakening and it's brutal towards you, you can tell me if that helps, my explanation helps you. Although, like I said, it's not from the mind. And the crying. I believe many of you have not cried as much as you cry while you are in the separation and while the Kundalini goes through you. It's unstoppable. It feels like you can't control yourself. You can sit in a car and you cry. You can crawl up, you cry. You don't sleep anymore. You don't eat. You often lose a lot of weight. And when the stories, what I shared of me on Instagram, you can actually really easily see there that at one point I was like a ghost. Like, yes, I was still existing, but my body was like so thin. Even though, yes, I always worked out in my life, I always do everything. But by that time, I could work out, I could work harder, I could do anything to get the way that maybe I'm going to be so exhausted that I fall asleep. I did not fall asleep anymore. No. So I knew that something big was happening, but no one in my life could understand it. And I started to mask it. That's another danger we do. I started to lie to myself and to others. I dressed up the best way I could dress up. I went to the best places I could. I was also maybe like, I couldn't really drink, but I would still have a wine or champagne or something like this, because I was like, I need to get out of it. I need to get out of this madness. It has to stop. And I felt very much alone and terrified at the same time. But also, let me be very clear here. Your twin flame does not need to try to awaken your Kundalini. It's not something that it's like they try to do that. And it's not about physical contact or even emotional intimacy. It has nothing to do with that. It's the energetic blueprint of your souls meeting again. And remembrance, even if it's unconscious, your system tells you, it's time. It's time, welcome home. The time to rise, to awaken, to burn you through the illusions, to become who you were always meant to be. And that's why this journey is not for easy. It's not easy for the faint heart. It's not something that, I'm going to just do it. Because it demands everything on you. And it does not let you to stay small. So often, we confuse that purge, what is happening to you right now, with a heartbreak. So we go into the states like we think, I miss them, I'm obsessed, I can't let go. And that's what is the PDF, what now is available on Patreon, that you can do, where your energy is leaking and you can bring that back, because that's a very important part of the journey. You will discover how your energy is leaking and how you become one with the Kundalini. You can't fight against the Kundalini. Just forget about it. Forget about it. There's no way of fighting against it. You can delay in a certain ways, but you can't fight against it. So often we would think about it like, I miss them. I'm obsessed. I can't let go. Like that is a big thing what we have. But many times you are not missing them. You are feeling actually the intensity of your own soul waking up. And you're feeling the rewiring of your own nervous system, the emotional detox, and the spiritual rebirth. And your twin, for your twin divine masculine now, they might not be aware of that at this moment. I'm not going to say that they did not feel the same energy. They might, but they might be aware of that moment. And they might not feel exactly the same way. And what is the reason why they're not feeling the exact same way? What is one of the reasons what I just said before? They don't feel the same way because not everybody has the same traumas, same wounds, same pains, same ways. So at least consciously they might not feel it, but subconsciously they do. And that's why also the journey can feel very unbalanced, because you feel, oh, I'm going through all of that turmoil and nothing is happening to them. But I'm going to say to you that the energy between you is real and the awakening is real and you are not alone. So can we kind of delay the Kundalini awakening then? If our twin is not feeling it, can we delay it then? Like, yes and no. In some ways we can, but it's actually more like the soul is giving you a grace, saying, okay, take your time. You're not ready for it. So Kundalini is a very intelligent energy, and I keep on repeating it because it's a very intelligent. It's not something from the mind. That's why I love on the retreats, and I love myself when I go to the Kundalini activations or I work on this energy. I see how intelligent it is. So it's not something we control with our ego or willpower. I am a number one example of that. I could not control my body. I could not control my thoughts. I could not control my pain. I could not control my sleep, my eating. Nothing I could control. But it's also not something that forces itself so violently that, like, if the body or your psychic, like your mind is not ready for without deeper purpose. And I really thought when I was going through that they're going to put me in a mental hospital because I'm crazy. I'm freaking crazy. What is this thing? I'm feeling this person. I'm seeing things. I'm hearing things. My body is on fire. It's so much is happening. And I thought eventually I'm going to end up on a hospital. But when twin flame connection triggers that Kundalini, it's like a soul level agreement that kicks in. So you have agreed on that. And whether you like this, whether you like your twin today or you don't like your twin, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, whether you see their healing or not their healing, whatever it is, it's an agreement you have already made. So while you might try to resist or ignore or numb it, it will come up again and again and again. And that's why the PDF that you can find on Patreon, that you can do by yourself or however you wish to, just to have a bit of a reflection, because we focus so much on them. And I spoke about this in a previous episode. You need to focus on you. And so it's not, and so when we ask, and I'm going to say Kundalini is intelligent. So when you ask, will they start healing? It's not up to you. It's not up to me. It's not up to me to say that they're going to figure this out today. It's up to the Kundalini. So sometimes it can delay in full force. Because the Kundalini says, okay, this person is not ready for this. Like, I'm going to give it a little sight for it. That's why they feel sexual energy towards you. But it hasn't arisen to your consciousness yet. But other times it comes in waves or cycles, meaning of you have a thing with your twin that where they tell you everything comes out and then they close up. Because the Kundalini won't force you into something your soul isn't ready for. But somehow it will continue whispering, knocking, and eventually roaring and be angry and be there until you listen. So yes, in certain ways you can slow the integration, that it's not there, but you can't truly stop the awakening anymore. Once it has begun, it may go dormant for a while again, but it always returns and usually stronger. And this is another thing I say to everything. And I often say this thing: don't fight against this. Don't fight against your pain. Don't fight against what you're feeling. Don't fight against the energy. And I'm gonna repeat this over. I'm like a parrot sometimes who repeats over and over again. But it's not from the mind. It is energy. And if you are trying to control the Kundalini, well, that's one of the reasons I do the podcast. Because I tried to control the Kundalini. And what it did, it nearly killed my body. I was on the ground and I couldn't get up anymore. And no one might not believe it when they see my pictures, when they see the videos, when they see who I am. They were like, what are you talking about? Yes, because I was lying. So how long does it normally take when we're realizing it's Kundalini? Well, for me, it took 18 months. 18 months when I started to work with energies. One of the Reiki sessions, one of these things, and the breath work. When I had the breath work done, and breath work can also trigger the Kundalini, then I realized, oh wow, this is all real. Oh, I'm not making this up. So it was like the puzzle pieces were falling into their place. But it took me 18 months. So for some of you who are listening to this today and they just stepped into the separation, you might not like this information. You might be going into the state of thinking, well, that's the most beautiful love I ever received and I want this love. Well, if it's your twin flame, it triggered most likely, most probably, if you have these symptoms that I'm going to mention right now, your Kundalini. So some people, in a certain ways, know immediately. But for many, especially those who are triggered by twin flame, it can take months and even years to realize. And then you can have this moment that, wait a minute, this isn't just a heartbreak. And that's why so many of you are saying, I have been divorced, I have been this, I have been that. But I had never ever felt more pain than I felt it right now. Because it isn't a heartbreak. This isn't just trauma. This is very something sacred that is happening inside of you. You are awakening. And also because Kundalini does not show up like and this is another thing why I say it's so intelligent. We like to control things from the mind and the ego and from the willpower. We read the books, we do this and that, and we kind of go by the book. We do it. But Kundalini doesn't show up like in the yoga books. It does. It has no instruction book. Do we say instruction book? That's the first thing. That's the second thing. That's why I say that. I like when we put that's how you meet your twin flame and that's what's going to happen. Believe me, I've heard so many stories and I'm so grateful for that. For some of them, it takes 10, 15 years when all of a sudden it's like, now it happened. But what you can have, and if you're experiencing these kind of things right now, you become very emotional. You have absolute emotional chaos. You cry, you scream, you cry nonstop. There is like, you have never cried in your life as much as you cry. Everything makes you cry. You have to cry. That's the Kundalini, it's purifying. Don't stop that process. Kundalini puts you on your path. Remember that. Don't fight against it. You can have insomnia. You can have feeling like you're losing control of everything in your life, like there is no more control. You're starting to have intuitive downloads that you feel like, what was that? Oh. Visions and synchronicities go off the charts. Your nervous system becomes very, very sensitive. You have heart palpitations. Your heart just literally starts beating faster than ever. And it can feel like depression and anxiety. So, and when all of that happens, and I'm going to say I had all of them. I had all of these things that happened to me. I felt I'm crazy. I really, really, really did. So, but when this is happening to us in a response to our soul connection, you're often so entangled in emotional layers that we don't realize there is actually something divine that is unfolding beneath the pain. But when all of this starts to disappear or go away, how many times you have heard me saying that this moment broke me, but it also remade me? Or in a sense of, I wasn't going crazy, I was waking up. I knew that there was something deeper inside. So, and it just brings the chaos. And that's why you think you are growing crazy. But what if I tell you that your soul is actually waking up? We use the word, I think I'm losing my mind, I'm going crazy, this must be something I'm making up, I cannot. But what is actually your soul is waking up? And there is a reason why, if you even look at Sadhguru or any other, Sadhguru is one of the most popular one, but let's say other gurus who talk about the Kundalini activation. And they always say it's not something you play around with. And I absolutely agree with that. Because there are many reasons why ancient traditions have warned about awakening without preparation. And what happens when we meet our twin flame? It awakens without knowing that it's going to happen. And Kundalini does not check if the mind is ready. It doesn't care. The Kundalini moves when the soul is ready. And so that's why the fight inside of you is very, very strong. So now we would say, what is the purpose? What is the purpose for me to have all of that? The Kundalini purpose is transformation. And that's why I often talk about this on my podcasts. That you meeting your twin flame is not a relationship. It's a transformation for you to become who you are. To awaken that divine blueprint within. But most of us, and that's nothing to say, and I was the same, so I'm just going to say we are so layered in trauma, conditioning, unresolved grief, suppressed desire, fear, shame, don't know what love is. And when this energy starts to rise, it pushes all of that on the surface. And then the body reacts as it's like under threat. The mind starts to panic because it cannot control anymore what's happening. And your identity starts to dissolve. And that can feel like a death. Why do we call that ego death? Because your identity no longer makes sense. And this is why this process is often mistaken for madness. We are thinking that, oh my God, I'm mad, I'm not normal. Because everything that the ego has known as self begins to unravel. But it's not madness. So, what is also can happen in your, because Kundalini flows through the energetic channels over chakras. But chakras are also connected to the nervous system. And I'm going to explain I'm explaining that for a reason. Because when the Kundalini moves, and some of you who have done the energetic activations, you can sometimes really see how the energy, like the serpent, is moving inside of the body. Not for all of us, but most of us. It can happen. You really feel. I love that feeling because it's a purification. It helps me. Anytime I feel stuck or my mind comes in, what do? I book myself a session for the Kundalini activations. As I work a lot with energies, for me, energetic work is very important. Because the mind is wired by the beliefs. So what happens that your sympathetic nervous system may become very hyperactive. So what happens? You go into the fight and flight situation. I did that when I was going through that turmoil. And I shared that on Instagram as well, on Twin Flame Awakening Journey Instagram. How my twin told me, why you're working so hard? Why don't you let anyone else to take care of you? Why don't you trust? And then he said, I love your voice. I can listen to you for hours. It really calms me. It really gives to me everything. And I was like, how someone can say these things? Like, doesn't make any sense. And then he also said to me that I love the way you see people. I love the way you connect, how much you see beauty in people, but you're so hard on yourself at the same time. And that's sad to look at. And I went to fight and flight from that moment when I was in a separation. I was like, look, he disappeared. He doesn't talk. There's no more disconnection. So I started working harder. I started to myself proving more that I can do more. I can be more. You know who I lost? I lost for the Kundalini. So you can go into the fight and flight situation. Your adrenaline glands start to surge cortisol. So you might have an anxiety attacks or a lot of tiredness. And anxiety can really kick in. Me, I thought when I was at the one step of healing, I'd never felt an anxiety in my life. And a lot of clients who come to me for the activations, they say, my root chakra is all shaking inside of me. I never had an anxiety like this. But it's at the cortisol that is coming from there because of the Kundalini is working from there. And it is scary. I'm going to really say, I know how scary it is. And that's why also I'm going to say that having yourself a possibility to meditate or I know that not all of you have the possibilities to spend money for healing or transformation. But I'm also going to say, don't put yourself into limitations. Really don't. There are so many ways of getting into that. Number one is like, for example, on Patreon, I have only for, I think it's $5.99 right now. Something like this. I don't know. On my Patreon, you can join the sessions in a group field. And it will help you as well. This Sunday we have Inner Dance, of course. Inner Dance is a very, very powerful one. We now Pi, the one who is the founder of Inner Dance, is going to United States prisons to help them to also release their blockages, things that they have done. And this is why I love it, that this energy is here to bring the healing, transformation and everything. It's not here to, I want to be powerful. I want to earn a lot of money. I want this love. This energy is putting you on a path of knowing, yes, I might have made mistakes. I might have done something. But this is not me. And I can come and be in the humanity of love and acceptance. And so we do it on Inner Dance, which is organized, which is the Pi facilitated this through himself for 2 years, living on a deserted island and not eating anything. And luckily, the God has given me an opportunity, or universe, or however we want to call it, to be on the training for that. And this Sunday, of course, we have another session of the inner dance. Those who come on the retreats, they get to do this on spot. It's a very deep one, and I love this. So what I'm just going to say that when I had all of that anxiety and everything, and when people, we need to let that energy to go. The anxiety will not, don't suppress it with medications. Although I'm going to say it's not a medical advice here to tell me, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm never ever here to say to anyone, this is what you have to do. Why? Because I believe that your body would know what to do. Your body would know. How many times I had another day a call with a beautiful soul who said, my body was pulling me towards the martial arts and boxing. I was supposed to go there, but I didn't until my therapist said to me, you have anger, you need to go there. So your body always knows. That's why also the people who end up on my retreats, or the people who end up on my energy activations with Kundalini, or their body already knows. Their soul, the body knows it has to be there. The mind can be like, I don't have a time, I don't have money, I don't know if it's worth it. Sooner or later you're going to end up. Sooner or later. So also things that can happen to you, like I said, anxiety and fatigue because of the adrenaline, or my adrenaline was top to the top. Your digestive system might shut down or speed up. Your pineal gland may be triggering like spiritual visions or hallucinations, or you start feeling things and you're hearing things and you're like, what is happening to me? Also your sleep cycles, your sleep can be a completely disturbed. You can't sleep anymore. And when this confusion deepens and goes on and on, because there are no clear boundaries between the spiritual and the psychological, you start asking yourself, am I going crazy? Am I losing my mind? What is this awakening? So now let's get to the point why the confusion is part of the path. Why there is so much confusion. Because the Kundalini doesn't only awaken your divine potential, it also brings illusions to the surface. And that illusion, what are these illusions? I'll let you to think for a moment. What are the illusions? Illusions are every identity, every belief, every relationship, and every habit that is no longer aligned with the soul's truth. So the confusion isn't a mistake. It's necessary. And also I want to say, this can take time. Invest in energy. Because spiritual awakening is not linear. That, I'm going to go 1 step up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up. I'm going. No. It's spiral. So it can be that today you feel, wow, I'm getting it, I understand it. Wow, I feel so aligned. And then the next day you feel, oh my God, I don't understand anything. It's a disaster. I feel so much anger. I feel this and that. That is also what is happening. I have seen it with the people who have come to the retreats. That there you understand a lot of things. And then you go into the life and you start spiraling. But that's not a bad thing. When that happens, it's actually trying to clear the mind to return back to your heart. And that's what confuses the ego. So then the soul can lead. So now, is very important that the modern mind, what we have right now in this world, we are trying to fix everything, what we don't understand. So we label it. Yes. And that's what I'm going to come into. We start labeling everything. And that works for the ego mind. You are a twin flame. You had a twin flame awakening. Your divine masculine is like this. Your divine which I spoke about it on my last podcast, is has this healing, this. We start labeling everything. So we start labeling. medicating, and isolating. But in a spiritual awakening and that activation, the work is often not to fix it, but to witness it and support it. To ground, not to suppress. I did the suppressing. Don't do what I did. I know we all have our path of it, but please don't do what I did. And to nurture your new nervous system and everything, the soul has then space to expand. So a lot of things can help you too. Somatic practices, breath work, nature, trauma-informed therapy, gentle movement of breath to help this silence, solitude, all of this can help. And now I'm also going to bring it in, and I just wanted that again when you're listening to this. It's not that I am telling you that, oh, I'm a Kundalini facilitator, now come and do it's not an idea of that. I just want to explain what happens in a session when you have help. And that's why my workshops I always said, I know that not all of us have money, because the Kundalini can also destroy your life, can destroy your finances, can destroy your work, your house, your marriage, a lot can happen. A lot. So I have made that on my Patreon that you can join for Sundays. We have the sessions, or every other Sunday, to support. But also, if you have, like I always say, don't buy the coffee today. Put this money into energy. When I was in my 20s and I was building my company, one of the biggest mistakes I used to make was that I didn't invest in my energy. Now, my number one priority is to invest in my energy. And that comes down to Reiki, that comes down to the Kundalini activations, that comes down to the like any kind of ancient practices I can learn and embody in my inside of me. I'm not saying that's for everyone. But how this energetic world has changed everything for me. And that's why I'm forever thankful for that day when I ran into my twin flame. If he wouldn't activated this Kundalini, I don't know if the Kundalini would have activated by itself, but it happened through subtle touch of the hand. I will never forget that, because that feeling inside of me changed my life forever. So what I want to talk about it is that when the Kundalini rises spontaneously, like it happened to us, if this is symptoms you have been feeling, your Kundalini has been awakened. I'm going to say it does not happen to everyone. Sometimes it makes me to question, is it really then a twin flame in that sense? But I always say, let the time tell. So, and the energy doesn't always rise very smoothly, so it can get stuck. And or surge can be too strongly in the areas where you have a lot of blocks and wounding. And so when you have someone who is a trained facilitator, in the sense of understanding the energy, connecting, it will help you to cleanse that faster. That's why I say that when my mind comes and puts me the blocks, I can feel that already. I start going into the blocks. I'm immediately book myself a session. I'll be like, I see what I'm doing. I see some block is there. So, and I want to say that the Kundalini facilitator never force any energy. There's no way we can force. It's actually, we hold a sacred space for the rebalance and let it to support the flow. So, in a sense of what is the true facilitator is we open the loving frequency. We open that space. We allow your body's intelligence to lead. We are not here to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to push there, I'm going to do this. No, it doesn't work like this. We observe the energy. We feel it. Is it stuck? Is it overactive? What is happening? And we help to release that trauma from there. So if you've been holding for a very long time something in your heart, in your solar, in your sacral, then maybe that would be the one way to go. Breathwork also helps. Kundalini yoga also helps. Don't get stuck if you cannot. And it's less about getting somewhere. It's more about allowing what is happening. So just we're gonna let it happen. And I just want to say very important thing. The right and the true facilitator does not try to heal or fix anything. And I want to say that very strongly. We reflect you back to your own truth. We show you what the truth. It's not about what is right and wrong. And I mentioned that one time before. Remember, I had the energy activation and channeling session, because I do also write things down that are coming at this session. And the person comes out and I tell what was there, and it gets into the ego, and that says, but I don't want this. I don't want this to happen to me. I'm like, it's not about, so what do you want? You want me to fix you? I can't fix you. You can fix yourself. I can't heal you. You can heal yourself. I'm here to hold you the space of connecting with that. And so it's very, because we remind your nervous system that it's already and it's safe to awaken. So maybe a little bit like a midwife, like a midwife kind of thing. And so it's just to know that if you feel these things, it might be one of the things that you might need to step into, let it happen. Many of us don't do it, including myself. When I was in the pain and I did not know that it's a Kundalini and I did not know any of that, I did not seek for help because I was afraid that this is all madness, this is going to go away, this is not going to happen. All right. There's so much more, of course, I want to say about it and talk about it, but I'm going to say one thing that, again, I see that the time has gone so quickly while I'm talking, and I'm trying to keep them slow, so, how do I say, shorter sometimes, but it doesn't work out, is it? So what I wanted to say is that yes, exactly, on Patreon you have the PDF now up where you can download and see where your energy is leaking and how you can bring your energy back within you. On the 27th of April, we have it on the, I hope it's 27th, yeah, 27th of April, we have another inner dance session on Patreon. You can join it, you can come and embody and see what starts to happen to you. Don't come with an expectation, don't come that this is the one that gets me into the union. No, the union happens inside of you with your energy. Not outside. Nothing happens outside. Your universe is inside of you. And the retreat, of course, the Cyprus retreat. I see so many of you have signed up, which I'm very excited. I'm waiting just to get the confirmation from the accommodation. And as soon as I have it, the first pricing will go out to the waiting list and then for the public. So those who are on waiting list on the website, of course, you will receive the special price and you will receive the special options. And then what else? Of course, if you find this information useful, if it has given you something, then of course, like, subscribe, stay over here, leave a comment. It helps this message to deliver. And overall, I wanted to say I'm very, very happy that you're here. I am sorry in a certain ways that right now can be a very difficult time. But let it happen. Don't hold it back. Don't try to control from the mind. You are awakening and the truth is soon in front of your eyes. Lots of love and lots of light.
Wide awake, all the memories are on replay. I reach for you, but you're thousands of miles away. Every heartbeat, every breath is filled with thoughts of you. I am so lost without you, and I don't know what to do. Sleepless nights, filled with all the things I didn't say, that will make it okay. Turn back time, never let you slip away. Every heartbeat, every breath is filled with thoughts of you. I am so lost without you, and I don't know what to do.